Nice to see you. My name's Holly Millar. I'm the Director of Corporate Communications at Giga Metals. How many of you here are familiar with our story? A few people? Not so much. Okay, great. Well, normally our CEO, Mark Jarvis, would be here. He's been with the company for about 20 years, but we wanted to boost our ESG, so now I'm in charge. This is a photo of our camp. We don't need to look at the disclaimer. Oh, okay. So, just kidding. Mark is actually in Tokyo right now, meeting with our new joint venture partner, Mitsubishi. So we announced this back in August. This is a really transformative deal for us, a huge vote of confidence. And Mitsubishi is one of the largest trading companies in Japan, so they really bring financial depth and a worldwide network of partnerships. So Mark is there with Martin Vidra, our president, and they're being introduced to other companies, possible strategic investors. So that's quite exciting for us. Can I?
Yep.
That's okay. A new battery. Great. Gotta have batteries, right? What would we do without them? More on that later.
Tell him you could advance the slides.
Okay. So this deal has been about 3 years in the making. It's taken a long time, but Mitsubishi chose us because we can provide a long life of responsibly sourced materials. Next slide, please. So they have the scale and resources to develop a project the size of Turnagain, which is, we have a very massive nickel project. And this is Mitsubishi's model. They like to own a minority interest in mines. They don't want to operate the mine, but they want to get as much of the offtake as possible. So they will have, as it stands now, 15% of the offtake. And yeah, we really enjoy working with Mitsubishi. They're a great team. We understand that they looked at 26 other greenfields nickel projects before selecting us. So that's a big vote of confidence. Next slide, please. So about Giga Metals, we are listed on the TSXV and the OTCQX. We are among the world's largest undeveloped resources of nickel and cobalt and sulfides. This is a large, low-grade, open-pittable resource. Right now, we are working on our pre-feasibility study. So thanks to Mitsubishi, we are fully funded to complete this and targeting first half of 2023 to get that out. And this will be on the same basis as the PEA, where we model selling our concentrate to a smelter. Next slide, please. Too far. One back. One back. There we go. So we're located in north central British Columbia. I'd like to acknowledge that we are located or operating on the traditional territory of the Tahltan and Cascadena. We've been working alongside these communities for quite a while now. We are about 400 kilometers north of Stewart, so we've modeled shipping our concentrate to the year-round port of Stewart. We can also take it to Prince Rupert or the railhead in Kitwangas, so there are several transportation options for our concentrate. Thanks. Another key asset of the project is that British Columbia has access to clean hydro power. So recently, next slide. Oh, damn it. Recently, we announced, an updated mineral resource statement, which was obviously some more good news for us. And this saw our measured and indicated increase to 1.5 billion tons and contained nickel increase to 7 billion pounds in the measured and indicated category. We wanted to do this to advance our engineering for the PFS level. A key asset of our project is a simple flow sheet, so really simple, reliable, low-risk tech, crush, grind, froth, flotation. This is something that Mitsubishi was attracted to, the low technical risk of our recovery circuit. 99% of the nickel and cobalt is contained in pentlandite. So yeah, simple processing. Another interesting or a big draw for Mitsubishi is that we have a real pathway to carbon neutrality through sequestration of CO2 in our tailings. So get to that, more of that in a bit. I'll just say next slide. There we go. Looking at our PEA summary, we've modeled building the project in 2 stages. So this is a massive project, 33,000 tons per year of nickel, 33,000 tons per year of nickel for a 37-year mine life. Our capex is around $2 billion, so that's a big project. But we're looking at building it in stages. So this is lower risk. As we work through the PFS, we're looking at the economics here, and this may see the impact of inflation, most likely. Next slide, please. So like all large undeveloped nickel projects of the world, our economics are marginal at the low end of the nickel price range. This is kind of just how it is. Nickel's doing a little bit better, but what we modeled in the PEA is at $7.50 nickel. Nickel's trading around $10 a pound now. So we have incredible leverage to the price of nickel, and our economics really rapidly increase in value in a bullish cycle. Next slide, please. So there are a number of Canadian projects, nickel projects like ours. We think they're all going to need to get built, but Turnagain is one of the only projects that's modeling, with engineering that models selling class 1 nickel, which is suitable for batteries. Next slide, please. So the one we all want to know about, our timeline and catalysts. So as I said, we are fully funded to complete our pre-feasibility study in the first half of 2023. We were up at the property last summer getting some geotechnical data that we'll use to complete our PFS. And then we'll move forward to our feasibility study and environmental assessment, which if we had the money today, we think could take us about 3 years. And for this, we're looking for another strategic investor to come in at the project level to help get us over the line there. Next slide, please. So we have a low-grade deposit, but we can make a really high-grade concentrate. So 18% nickel, 1% cobalt. This is a premium product that we can sell to a smelter. We've also looked at it's suitable for a pressure oxidation circuit as well. So we've done a lot of test work in the past that shows we can make a high quality MHP or mixed hydroxide precipitate. So several options there. Next slide, please. So our tailings facility, we've got a large project, so it will be a large facility, but we are designing this with the highest safety standards in mind, of course. We are modeling a centerline construction with quarried rock. Next slide, please. Here's a map of our facility. We have a small pond and large beaches, and this is to increase the CO2 uptake in our silicate tailings. So when we grind up the silicates to tiny particles, it goes through a process of carbon mineralization and actually sequesters CO2 from the atmosphere. So we're working with Professor Greg Dipple at UBC to actually quantify the amount of CO2 that we can sequester. So this is a pretty exciting part of the project for us, and again, another big draw for Mitsubishi. ESG is at the top of their list, one of their core values, so this is a really interesting aspect of the project that aligns with their goals. Next slide, please. Don't need to spend too much time here, but nickel gets volatile every once in a while, and we think it's just getting started this cycle. Next slide, please. Again, batteries are the second largest use of nickel, around 16% of the market. This has more than doubled in the last 2 years, so we are already in short supply of battery-grade nickel. Next slide. So looking at the announced battery projects in North America, This is from March, so there's a few more on there already. We estimate we'll need around 250,000 to 450,000 tons per year of nickel to supply these projects. So that's a lot of nickel. It's going to depend on whether the factories are nickel-based or LFP, but that's still a lot of nickel. Next slide. Yeah, LFP is coming in hot for sure. But we think that nickel-based batteries are still going to be the dominant chemistry, especially in North America and Europe, where we like range on our vehicles. To have more range, you need more nickel in your cathode. So that's just the amount of nickel in batteries is going to continue to go up. Next slide, please. So yeah, operations in Canada, 124,000 tons per year of refined nickel in 2020, I believe. Next slide, please. So even if we build all of these projects, that's still not enough nickel. And the projects in green are modeling class 1, and projects in blue currently are modeling class 2 nickel. So again, Turnagain is one of the only large projects that's modeling class 1 nickel, which is suitable for batteries. Next slide, please. So based on our PEA, we are at the low end of the emissions curve. Next slide. And as I said, we think we have a real shot at being carbon neutral in terms of our Scope 1 and Scope 2 emissions, which is a huge draw for Mitsubishi and really exciting for us and a huge asset of the project. So we believe our tailings will sequester CO2. We'll be able to quantify this with the research from Greg Dippel's team at UBC. They actually recently won the X Prize from Elon Musk for carbon sequestration work. So while we're working on the PFS, we're looking at other ways to bring our emissions down. If we have an electrified mine fleet, this will bring our emissions down even more. It doesn't exist yet, so it's not modeled yet, but by the time the mine starts, we believe it's something we can use. Oh, go back. Oh yeah, and then the credits from the credits from the tailings will bring that down even lower. So if we can sell credits from the mine, that's will be great news, but even if it's just low carbon, that's what we're aiming for. Next slide. So we've got a strong team, as I mentioned. Our CEO and chairman, Mark Jarvis, he's been with the company or working on this project for about 20 years. He is still very much in charge, but he is in Tokyo right now, meeting with Mitsubishi, along with Martin Vidra, our president. So if anyone has specific questions for them, I'd be very happy to set up a meeting after this and we can talk it through. They're really the experts with a lot of history in the game. Martin Vidra, he is the one who introduced us to Mitsubishi. So he has this fantastic network of partnerships, and he is leading our internal process. So he will be talking to other potential strategic investors, car makers, battery companies. This is who we're looking for. We want them to come in at another minority interest, so around 20% of the project. And he tells us there's a lot of interest out there, and especially thanks to this partnership with Mitsubishi, they've done a lot of due diligence on our company, so other investors, strategics can trust that. And I'll also point out Bob Morris. He worked at Vale and was in charge of worldwide base metal sales there. So yeah, that's the team. Next slide. Here's our capital structure. Next slide. Where's all the nickel going to come from? Hopefully our project. Next slide. Yeah, that's it. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to chat after as well. And I will say that I am not the technical person on this project, and but I'm happy to introduce you to our engineer, Lyle Tritton, who's one of the smartest people I've ever worked with. And yeah, if you have any questions.